Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. I have got some exciting news. I have been invited to be on the creative team for UmWowStudio. If you don't know UmWowStudio, it is run by Dee Catron, and she has this fantastic shop where she sells all these gorgeous things. So I picked out a few things, some washi tapes, some tissue papers, some vintage ephemera. She has loads of gorgeous chipboards, stencils, all sorts of things. I will pop the link to the shop down below. I have no idea what I'm planning. I just kind of picked out a few of the bits that she sent me, and I'm hoping to create something for you. So I'm starting with a base of this lovely big manila tag, and I've also picked out a few other little bits which I thought might go with this. I've picked out from my own stash some strips of fabric which I'd quite like to add too. Okay, let's start with a little bit of collage. So let me grab my matte medium, my glue brush, and start to add some of the lovely collage that we've got. Actually, this tissue paper came in the parcel, so all my bits and bobs were wrapped up in this lovely tissue paper, but I'm still going to use it because I think it's lovely, all these little crosses on it. And then this tissue paper, how lovely is this stuff? Just gorgeous marks. So yeah, let's pull out some of that. Just layering up a few bits. Love it. I'm going to go over that and I'll recut the hole as I'm going. I like that sort of big scrawly writing there. And I think sort of a ticket of some kind. A punch card. Maybe a punch time card. Yes, it is. I think that's what it is. A time card. So something like that. I'm going to give that a dry. All right, that's dry. I'm going to go in with my usual, with my gesso, just to soften and push some of that into the background again. It's a nice, lovely big tag to work on. I find it quite difficult to find this size over here in the UK. So it's nice. It's a really good size to work on. Okay, another quick dry. And I have got out some watercolours. Just going to go for this yellow, I think. Start adding a little splash of colour. Maybe I'll put in a bit of coffee as well. This is just mixed up instant coffee. Okay. Right, that's dry now, and I've decided I'm going to take my strips of fabric and do some weaving in this. So I'm going to cut some strips into my tag. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my strips of this kind of florally strips of fabric, yellow in with the yellows and greens, which goes nicely. And I'm going to weave that in. Okay, so that's one of those strips will go twice. I've got a few of them, so let's keep going. Just going back and forth, over, under, etc., etc. And then making sure it's kind of pulled taut as I'm going. Lovely. I think that's going to look great. I'm going to keep going. I'll be back in a mo. Right, I finished weaving and then went round and just stitched around on my sewing machine to seal it all together. And I'm just going to then give my little tails a trim off. Okay, that's how it's looking at the moment. And now I want to kind of incorporate the photograph in somehow. I've got this piece here and I have my lovely chipboard piece. As you can see how it's going to start to come together, I think. Let's just alter the photograph a little. I think I'm going to just take the top off and I'm going to add some of this. This is Dee Dee's vintage tape, UmWowStudio's tape, and I love this stuff. It just is so fabulous. Just because instant sort of vintage look to things like that. Love it. And then we've also got this tape. This lovely black and white pattern as well. I want to add some of that somewhere. Thinking on the photo as well. Like that. I've got this little stamp. Do I want it to be brown or do I want to put in a different colour? Oh, I also picked out some of this netting. I wonder if I want some of that on here as well. Just playing around now, kind of auditioning things about. I think I'm going to paint both my chipboard piece and this cardboard piece, die cut piece. Can't decide what colour though. Let me have a think. I've gone for this kind of blue colour. I think that adds a bit of pop of colour. And I'm going to do my chipboard in the same. So I've just mixed it up here. And I'm just going to lay this down and give that a coat as well. This is a Prussian blue mixed up with a kind of linen colour. A linen grey colour. So many beautiful chipboards in UmWowStudio. And it's not something I've used a lot of, so I'm looking forward to adding these to some projects. Okay, I'll give that a dry. This is how it's looking at the moment. I've not stuck anything down, but I'm quite liking it as it is. But I think it does need a little bit of something else. I'm not sure about the netting. I think because it hides a lot of that weaving which we worked out. I'm thinking of shifting it off to the side a little, like that. I'm going to try out this little stamp. Okay, that's quite cute. Oops. Okay, I'm thinking now of doing a little bit of stitching on this piece. So let me get a needle and thread. Okay, I've threaded up some yellow because I want to bring the yellow that's in the background back to the front. So I'm gonna start just randomly and pierce there, kind of wrap round the top. And come back down like that, and just kind of put these kind of long, ooh, I don't want to bend it, loose threads in. Something like that. So I'm just going to then tie that off at the bottom. I'm just going to put a little bit of masking tape down there to secure that thread as well. Okay, so now when we start to lay that down, I'm going to have this thread something like that. Ooh, okay, I'm going to start sticking some stuff down. Right, I've stuck things down, and then I've just found some words from an old book, and I'm about to stick those down. So I found overjoyed to be together, which I thought went really well with the photo. And I'm going to stick those on the threads that I put down. I really need to find where I've put my tweezers because I keep having to use my fingers and get stuck. I end up using these little scissors. Okay, so we've got, ooh, that's what it's looking like so far. Let me get it into focus for you. I just think it needs something at the top, doesn't it? Let me just decide what that is. Do I want to have one of these blanket pins maybe? I don't know if I want the same fabric or a contrast. I think we need a contrast. Let's try more darker colour to fit in with that piece there. Nearly, but it's not quite wide enough for what I want. Have a dig about this piece. Yes, I think so. So I'm thinking then that will go through my little clip. Like that. Yeah. I'm going to get some blue stitches and stitch that on. There we are. So I've stitched that on with some blue stitching, little cross stitches, put my blanket pin in, and that is my tag piece. I'm going to call that one done. I'll put the details down of UmWowStudio so you can hop along and check out all of the products that I used for that. Thank you so much for joining me and take care. See you soon. Bye.